Here a question is given such that show that the displacement vector does not depend upon the choice of the origin of the coordinate system. Now, let me take the displacement of a particle in a coordinate system. This is x, y, and the particle has started from P, moved to point Q. So, this is the displacement vector between P and Q. So, this is the initial position vector. Let me take it as r1, and this is the final position vector r2. So, this is the origin. So, in this PQ is the displacement vector. Instead of this, let me take one more coordinate system with the y dash and x dash here. What are the position vector of the first position of the particle? Position vector. So, this is a r1 dash. You see in this diagram, r1 and r1 dash are not same. And the final position vector is r2 dash. This is r2 dash. This is the final position vector. And r2 and r2 dash are also different. But what about the displacement vector for this one? Here also particle move from here to here. So, the displacement vector remains as it is same. That means, irrespective of the choice of the origin, whether origin is O or O dash, the position vectors may be different, but the displacement vector remains the same. So, that is how we can prove this one. Here r1 bar and r2 bar are different from r1 dash bar and r2 dash bar, but the displacement vector x bar which is given by pq bar, that is displacement vector x bar, remains same for both, coordinate system, that is for x y or x dash y dash. So, this is how you can prove it. Multiplication of a vector by a real number, it may be positive or negative or may be 0 real number. Now, that is also called scalar multiple of a vector. While solving some problems, let us say the velocity of car B is double to the of car A. That means, velocity of car B, that is VB bar, is twice the or double to the velocity of car A. In this, what we are doing? We are multiplying velocity of car A with a number 2. So, this is called a scalar multiple of a vector. That means, we are multiplying a vector with a scalar value, that is, this may be a number or it may be a physical quantity also. Now, let me take one vector here. This is A vector. If you multiply this vector with let us say lambda, so this will become lambda times of A bar. This is a new vector. What is the difference between the original vector and this vector? This vector has a magnitude lambda times more than this one, but the direction never changes. That means, if you multiply a vector with a number or real number, the magnitude of the vector increases by lambda time, but the direction never changes. Similarly, if you take a vector x here, x bar, and if you multiply this with minus 2.5, what is this minus 2.5? That means, we are multiplying this vector x with minus 2.5, this will become minus 2.5 x bar. Remember, the magnitude increased by 2.5 times, but as it is minus, this is opposite this one. That is why it is a real number. Multiplying the vector with a real number, we can multiply with positive value, we can multiply with negative number or negative value, or we can multiply with 0. Now, suppose if you take a vector p bar and when it is multiplied with 0, so the new vector will be null vector. That means, you will get 0 only, 0 bar. So, you cannot show any magnitude here because it has no magnitude. This vector is called a null vector or 0 vector. So, what is a null vector? A vector whose magnitude is 0 with an arbitrary direction. So, tell me some examples for null vector. What are the null vector examples? See, if you throw a body vertically upwards, as it goes up, the velocity gradually decreases and finally the velocity will become 0 at maximum height. So, example for null vector is first one, velocity of a body at maximum height. So, velocity is a vector, but it is a null vector. Why? Because velocity will be 0 there. Similarly, if a body started from A, went to somewhere and came back to A only. So, what is the total net displacement here? Net displacement will be 0. So, displacement of a body after reaching initial position. Similarly, you can give some more examples. If the body is at rest, the velocity will be 0. So, the velocity of a body at rest is also a null vector. So, this is how you can multiply a vector with a real number. Suppose if you take the momentum of a body, momentum is given by P bar, symbol is P is a vector, mass into velocity. Remember students, mass is a scalar quantity, but velocity is a vector quantity. So, here a scalar multiple of vector means I am multiplying a scalar with a vector. So, as a result, the velocity has units meter per second and the momentum has kg meter per second. That means, velocity increases by m times here and it will give another physical quantity whose dimension formula as well as the SI unit also changes by this unit of this one. That means, here mass is measured in kg. Similarly, if you take the force vector, this is mass into acceleration. Here also, the scalar product of acceleration is force. Here scalar is a mass. Mass is, it may be 20 kg, 30 kg. It may be a pure number or it may be a number with a unit. Next, equality of vectors. Two or more vectors are said to be equal if they have same magnitude and acting in the same direction. Two or more vectors are said to be equal if they have same magnitude and acting in same direction. That means, they should have same magnitude and acting in the same direction. Let me take three vectors here. So, this is vector A, this is vector A, this is A bar, let us say this is B bar and let us say this is C bar. And if you see these three, these are all having same magnitude and all acting on towards right side only, that means they are acting in the same direction. So, what we can say, A bar is equal to B bar is equal to C bar. Similarly, as their directions are equal, the unit vector of this vector, that is A cap is equal to B cap is equal to C cap. And we know that the magnitude is also same. So, from this what we can say, modulus of A bar is equal to modulus of B bar is equal to modulus of C bar. So, for equal vectors, their magnitudes are equal, their directions are equal, then the vectors are said to be equal vectors. But remember students, let us say one vector is located here as A bar and one more vector is located here as B bar and one more vector located here somewhere here as C bar. Can we say that these three vectors are equal here? Yes, only if they have same magnitude and acting in same direction. So, this magnitude is this much, we know the length of this one will give the magnitude and this vector is also having the same magnitude and this is also having the same magnitude. So, even though they are located at different places in the space, they are said to be equal vectors. That means, the equality of vectors does not depend on their locations. So, irrespective of their locations, the vectors can be said to be equal if they have same magnitude and same direction. Here A, B, C are equal vectors. Why? Because they have same magnitude and acting in the same direction here. In case of two vectors, let me take this is vector A, which is acting in this direction. This is vector A, and one more vector acting in this direction, same direction, vector B. Even these two are said to be equal vectors. Why? Because their magnitudes as well as their directions are same. That means, if you displace this vector here, and if you displace this vector, we can displace this vector, and here you can draw this as an equal vector. So, this is A bar. That means, if one of the vector is displaced parallel to another vector, then these two are said to be equal vectors. Even without displacing this also, we can say that as their magnitudes are equal and acting in the same direction, we can say that A bar is equal to B bar. Addition or composition of vector. The process of adding two or more vectors is called addition of vector. Process of adding two or more vectors is known as addition of vector or composition of vectors. Now, how to add two vectors or more vectors? So, here we have different methods. So, first let me explain the graphical method now. In the graphical method, we have two more methods. One is a tile to head method, also called triangle method. Second one, parallelogram method. So, what is this graphical method? So, in this one, to find out the resultant of two vectors, let us say if I take a vector A bar here, and this is vector, let us say one more vector which is acting like this, B bar. If I take A bar and B bar, the resultant of these two, what is meant by resultant? Resultant is a single vector. This is a single vector. That means, instead of two vectors, I can represent these two vectors as a single vector. So, resultant is a single vector which is having same effect of individual vectors when acting together, or they produce together. Individual vectors produce together. That means, if these two are acting, for example, if I take a body of mass m, let us say two forces are acting F1 and F2. So, let us say F1 is equal to 10 newtons, F2 is equal to 30 newtons here. Let me show me a bigger line here. So, what is the total force acting on this one, or what is the resultant force acting on this one? It is very easy that both are acting in the same direction. The resultant force is given by F1 bar plus F2 bar. So, I am adding these two vectors and resultant will be 10 plus 30, which is equal to 40 newtons. As both are acting in the same direction, direction of this one is also in the same direction. Now, instead of this diagram, I can draw the same body of mass m. This is 30 plus 10. So, I need to draw a bigger line here. This is 40 newtons. This is called resultant of these two. So, what is the resultant of two vectors? A resultant of two vectors is a single vector, not only two, resultant of two or more vectors is a single vector. I am showing this with a single vector which is having the same effect of individual vectors produced together. These two can move this body with some velocity. Instead of these two, the single vector, the single force can move this body with the same effect which was shown by these two vectors produced together. So, this is called resultant. So, this how to find out resultant when two vectors are given. So, in this case, if the angle changes, if direction changes, resultant also changes. Every time you cannot say that resultant force F net is equal to F1 plus F2. So, according to the condition, according to the direction, we need to use a formula. Here, first let me use the graphical method. In this method, first let me take a tile to head method, also known as a triangle method. So, in this method, I need to draw the first vector in the same direction as it is. This is A bar, now B bar. So, you just move this vector, displace this vector such that B is displaced up to here. So, it is shown like this. So, I just moved displaced this vector from this position to this position. So, now this is B bar. So, what is the resultant of this A bar and B bar here? Now, you just join the tail of the first vector with the head of the last vector. So, you will get one more line here. This is the resultant vector R bar, which is equal to A bar plus B bar. So, see these two diagrams, these two vectors which are acting in different directions, but the resultant of these two vectors is given by the third closing side of the triangle. So, what is the method that we used here? This is method is called tile to head method, because see this is from tile to head of first vector, then this is a tile to head of second vector, and resultant is a tile to head in this one. In this method, if you observe clearly, this is a tile to head, then head to tail. That means these two are in one order, but this is in reverse order. Here, the first two vectors, given vectors are taken in a order from tail to head and tail to head, but this is from head to tail. So, while defining this one, triangle of vector addition, if two vectors are represented as two sides of a triangle taken in order, this resultant will be opposite to the actual taken order or in the reverse order. But that I will explain later, but this is the method of finding resultant by using graphical method. But graphically you can measure it, but how to find the magnitude we will learn in the next class, but graphically. Similarly, if you take two more vectors here, this is vector P bar, this is vector Q bar. So, in this case, how to find resultant of these two vectors? First, draw the given vector, first vector P bar as it is, and the condition is displace the second vector such that the tail of the second vector is in contact with the head of the first vector. So, you just move it up to here. So, here actually vector Q is here. So, move it and you displace it such that this will be Q bar. So, what is the resultant here? To find out the resultant, just join the tail of the first vector with the head of the last vector. So, this if you join these two, you will get a line here. This R bar is given by P bar plus Q bar. This is called graphical method. In this graphical method, by observing this diagram itself, we can say that R bar is greater than P bar as well as Q bar. But let us say if two more vectors are given, X bar and Y bar. Remember students, here how to find resultant of these two? As these two are acting in the same direction, this is X bar, this is Y bar, and if you want to add the tail of the first vector with the head of the last vector, then we will get a straight line only, which is exactly equal to the length of this one plus length of this one. But this is not a triangle, this is a straight line. So, in this case, we are not going to use this method, but you can directly you can write R bar is equal X bar plus Y bar. Then, what is the other method? That is a parallelogram method. In parallelogram method, let us say there are two vectors. Let me take this as a P bar and one more vector acting like this Q bar. In the triangle method, what we did, we joined the head of the first vector with the tail of the second vector. We just displaced by keeping this vector here. I brought the second vector. I displaced in the same direction without changing the direction. I just joined these two and I joined the head and tail. That is tail of the first vector with the head of the last vector. But in a parallelogram method, what I am going to do, I am going to combine the both the tiles. That means the P bar will be like this only, and the Q bar is moved here and it is joined here. So this is Q bar, this is second vector. So this is P bar and Q bar. Now both tiles are connected or joined together. Let me take this point as O. Now draw a parallel line, a line from the head of the first vector and parallel to Q bar. So this is one line. Similarly, from the head of the second vector, draw a parallel line to the first vector. So what I am going to do? I am drawing a line from the head of the second vector parallel to the second vector. Similarly, I am drawing one more line parallel to first vector from the head of the second vector. So this is O, the point of this one, the co-initial point is O. This let me take as A, B, C. Here B is the point of intersection of these two lines. Now you join the point of intersection and the origin of these two vectors, because these two vectors are starting from this point. Now if you join these two, you will get one more vector OB bar, which is given by R bar equal to P bar plus Q bar. This is the second method of addition of vectors by graphical link. But if you observe this one as well as the first one both gives the same results, both gives the same result. Now in the first method, what I am going to do, this is P bar, and from that in triangle method Q bar will be like this, and this will be the resultant of these two. If you see these two diagrams, in these two diagrams, this is the resultant, this is the resultant. Both are having same length and acting in same direction. That means the graph, this in graphical method, both the triangle method as well as parallelogram method yields the same results. There is no difference at all. But how to find the magnitude of this one and how to find the direction, that means angle made by this one with one of the vector, that we will learn in the next class. So how to subtract two vectors? So we know how to add two vectors. So subtraction means difference between two vectors. If you take the triangle of vector addition, let us say this is one vector P bar and this is another vector Q bar. The sum of these two vectors, we call it as resultant, is given by either by using parallelogram method, you will get this is the resultant, because draw a parallel to the first vector from the head of the second vector. Similarly, draw another parallel line from the head of the first vector parallel to the second vector and join the point of intersection with the point of origin. So this is R bar. This is called resultant. Resultant is nothing but sum of these two vectors P bar plus Q bar. Now in subtraction, there is no subtraction in vectors, but what we are going to do, we are going to add vector P. So let me take vector P bar and vector negative vector of Q bar, negative vector of Q bar, that is minus Q bar. If you add these two, you will get P bar minus Q bar. This is how we are subtracting Q bar from P bar. That means while subtracting two vectors also, we are going to use the same method here. Here see this one, this is P bar and we know this is Q bar. Now I need a negative vector of Q bar, that means you just extend this one in the opposite direction. That means a vector, negative vector means a vector which is having same magnitude but acting in opposite direction. This is minus Q bar. So in this case, how to find the sum of these two? To find the sum, we have parallelogram method. Draw a line parallel to the first vector from the head of the second vector. Similarly, draw one more line parallel to second vector from the head of the first vector. So this is the point of intersection of those two lines. Now you add these two vectors. That means from the point of intersection, this origin O, if you join these two, this will be P bar minus Q bar, because I am adding P bar, I am adding P bar with minus Q bar. So this red color one is the P bar minus Q bar. If you see this one, you can see one similarity here. The magnitude of P plus Q, P minus Q is same, but the direction only different. So this is how you can find a difference between two vectors, that is a subtraction of vectors. Similarly, if you take this one triangle method, this is a parallelogram method. So this is P bar, let us say this is Q bar. So how to find the sum of these two vectors? To find the sum of these two vectors, in condition is, in parallelogram method both vectors are starting from same point, but in triangle method we have to move this vector such that the tail of the second vector is in contact with the head of the first vector. So move this one up to here. So if you move this one, you will get a vector here. So this is the second vector, that is Q bar. So this is Q bar. So I am removing this one. Actually I am not removing, I am displacing this vector. So this is P bar, this is Q bar. What is the sum of these two vectors? Sum of these two vectors, or the resultant of these two vectors, is given by this line. R bar is equal to P bar plus Q bar. But how to find P bar minus Q bar? This is P bar, Q bar is negative vector of Q bar, that is, this is plus Q bar. Now you take one more vector which is having the same magnitude here, having the same magnitude but acting in opposite direction. So now this is a tail to head, tail to head. So this is head to tail, but here tail to head, now head to tail. So I need to draw one more vector here. So this is the closing side of this triangle, which is given by P bar minus Q bar. I think you got the idea. Here R plus P plus Q is not equal to P minus Q. There P plus Q is equal to P minus Q. That means that is different. Why? Because the angle between these two vectors is 90. Here angle between these two vectors is not 90. It is different. That's why here what I am going to write, magnitude of P bar plus Q bar is not equal to P bar minus Q bar. Magnitudes are different and their directions also different. So directions also different. Directions of P bar plus Q bar is different from P bar minus Q bar. So this is how you can subtract two vectors. So that means in vector addition there is no subtraction of vectors. Only thing is, while we are adding two vectors, if you reverse the direction of one of the vector, you will get the subtraction of vectors, which is given by P bar minus Q bar. Suppose if you want to find out for the same diagram Q bar minus P bar. So this is Q bar, this is Q bar, this is P bar. From here to here, this is P bar. What is minus here? Minus means here I need to reverse this one, but tail to head, then tail to head. But here this will be reversed here. So this will be the P bar vector. Always you have to follow the order, tail to head, tail to head. Now this is actually minus P bar. Now if you join the third side or closing side of this triangle, so this is Q bar minus P bar, this is Q bar minus P bar. If you observe this one, this is P bar minus Q bar, this is Q bar minus P bar. Both are opposite to each other. So this is how we can find the subtraction of vectors. Now based on this one, let me give some applications in our daily life. Let us say if rain is falling vertically downwards, these are the raindrops. So rain is falling vertically downwards. Here the velocity of rain, let me take it as VR, velocity of raindrops, VR vector. Now if you want to protect ourselves from the rain, we need to hold an umbrella such that so this is the position of umbrella. Here we are holding the umbrella to protect the rain against the rain, actually against the rain. So we have to hold here. So the person is at rest here. The person is at rest. So for him rain is falling vertically downwards, so he has to hold umbrella like this. But let us say if rain is falling like this, rain is falling vertically downwards only. But let us say wind is also blowing in this case. Here there is no wind in this case. Or even wind is there, the velocity of that wind is negligible when compared to velocity of rain. Let us say here wind is blowing like this in this direction. This is velocity of wind and this is the velocity of the rain. This is velocity of rain. So now due to this wind, the raindrops will try to move in the direction of the wind. As a result, what happens? The rain appears to, actually rain is falling like this only, but rain appears to fall in a different direction. So the direction of rain will change like this. This is the resultant of the wind and rain. So here let me write this V rain here. So this is the actual direction of the rainfall, V rain. This is wind. So this black color one is the resultant direction of the rain due to wind. This is V resultant. So how to find this V resultant here? We have this, we can write this as the velocity of rain and this is the velocity of the wind. Suppose velocity of rain 20, velocity of wind 10, you can show like this. If velocity of wind is only 5, let us say this is 20 meter per second, this is 10 meter per second. You have to draw like this. Suppose if the wind velocity is only 5, if it is only 5, in the diagram itself we have to show this with a small arrow. So this is V wind, that is V bar. So this is also bars, all are vectors like this. Let us say if the wind velocity is also 20, then the length of this arrow should be, or line should be equal to this one. So this is velocity of wind. So different cases, because in a problem they may give similar velocity or different velocity, what will be. Now what is the resultant velocity of the rain in this case? Same thing already, both vectors are acting from the same point. Let us say this is the origin. Now draw a parallel line here, parallel to the first vector or rain vector, and this is a wind vector. Now you join these two, the origin with the point of intersection. This is the resultant velocity. So how to find this resultant velocity? Without knowing any formulas from physics in first PUC, we have this Pythagoras theorem. This is 20. If it is 20, this will also be 20. This is a hypothesis of this right angle triangle. So V resultant is given by root over V rain square plus V wind square. So which is given by root over 20 square plus 20 square. This is a 220 square under root. So this is 20 root 2 meter per second. This is the resultant velocity of the rain. Here I am using the addition of vector or composition of vectors. Now in this case, in the same case, rain, let us say rain is falling at an angle because of the wind and this rain. The resultant of these two is given by this one. Now let us say rain is falling like this. This is the direction of the rain. Now a person who is at rest has to hold umbrella like this. See this one, in this case he is holding umbrella like this, that means stick of the umbrella is vertical, that means perpendicular to the earth. Stick of the umbrella is perpendicular to the earth. But here in this case what is happening, if you take this stick of the umbrella and this is the earth, this is not 90, it is making some angle. So how to find this angle, at what angle he has to hold the umbrella? If it is theta, and let me take this as alpha and this is also alpha. If the person is at rest, here also person is at rest, person is not moving, person is at rest. Now, what is the alpha? That means the angle at which the umbrella has to be tilted to protect from rain. So, this is given by here, let me use the same values here. The velocity of rain here is 20, the velocity of wind is 20, and this angle. So, you just draw same diagram here. This is the angle that I am going to find. So, theta is not required, I am just want the angle at which the umbrella has to be held with vertical alpha. So, this is 20, this is 20. Now, how to find this one? If it is 20, this is also 20 because this is a parallelogram. Now, I want this angle. I know the opposite side and adjacent side. I know that tan alpha is equal 20 by 21. So, alpha is equal to 45 degrees. So, we can find out this alpha if the person is at rest. If person is also moving, what to do? Let us say if person is moving, that we will learn in relative velocity in 2 dimensions. In the last lesson, we studied relative velocity in 1 dimension. That means only one bus is going behind a car or car is going behind the bus. Both are traveling in the same direction. Here, rain is falling in a particular direction. The person is moving in a particular direction because the person is not moving in the direction of rain or in the opposite direction of rain. So, then we will discuss these other cases in relative motion in 2 dimension in this lesson later. So, thank you.